Good morning, children. How are you? In the last session, we have discussed about one of the important chapter in chemistry, chemical equation, right? So, what is chemical equation? What does chemical equation consists of? What is chemical equation, children? Chemical equation is nothing but symbolic representation of a chemical change. Already we have discussed about few examples of chemical change we have observed in our day-to-day life. So let us consider an example. Zinc reacts with sulfuric acid. Zinc reacts with sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas is liberated. This is a chemical change. How can we represent by using symbols and formula? How can you write the chemical equation? Let us consider what is the symbol of zinc, children? Zn. Okay. And sulfuric acid? H2SO4. This is the formula of sulfuric acid. To form, what is the product, children? ZnSO4 and hydrogen gas is liberated. This is a chemical equation. Why we are call it as chemical equation? Because we are writing the chemical change by using symbol and formula. I hope clear, children. So next question arises, what is chemical equation consists of? Chemical equation consists of reactants and products. Which are the reactants? The left hand side of the chemical equation is called it as reactant. What is that, children? The left hand side of the chemical equation is called it as reactant. Here two reactants are there. We are using reactants. And the right hand side of this is the arrow. We are separate the reactants and product, right? So they are called it as reactant. This is called as product. Now my question is, name the reactants and products in a chemical equation. So zinc and sulfuric acids are the reactants and zinc sulfate, hydrogen gas is the product. So in the last session I have shown if the gas is liberation, we are showing the aroma upside, right? This and all you have studied. Now already you have studied in 9th standard. So what you have studied? Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. What does it mean? The total mass of the reactant must be equal to the total mass of the product. This is called it as law of conservation of mass. Whatever the total mass which is present in the reactant side, that must be equal to the product side. So here, in order to balance it, so that means what is that? The mass of zinc and sulfuric acid must be equal to the product side mass of the zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas children. So that what we have to do? We have to balance the chemical equation. What is balancing chemical equation, ma'am? Why we have to balance the chemical equation? So what is balancing chemical equation? Balancing chemical equation means the total number of elements or compounds that must be equal to the total number of total number of elements present on the product side, so that we have to balance it. How can we balance, ma'am? What are the steps we are going to take to balance the chemical reaction? Very important thing, children. There are certain steps are there. I will show you 3 methods which are the easy methods you can follow, children. Ready? Zinc reacts with sulfuric acid to forming zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas is liberated. First you have to draw the column like this, children. So you have to write the name of the elements which are present in the given equation. So what are the elements they have given? Zinc, okay, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen. Okay, these are the elements present in the given equation. Once again, zinc, hydrogen, sulfur, oxygen. Next, the number of atoms in reactants. You know the chemical equation consists of LHS, reactants, left hand side LHS, this is RHS. Okay children, okay. So, the number of atoms present in reactant. What is the number of atoms in zinc here? 1. Right. Hydrogen here? 2. What about sulfur? Sulfur? 1. What about oxygen? 4. Then we can move on to this product side. The number of atoms in zinc in product side? 1. And hydrogen? 2. What about sulfur? 1. Oxygen? 4. Okay. Next, what do you notice here? The number of atoms in reactant must be equal to the number of products. This is the law of conservation of mass is satisfied in this equation. This equation is called as balanced equation. Clear children? Here no need to balance because the total number of atoms in reactant must be equal to the product. Let us consider another equation. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen to forming water. Okay, what are the steps we are going to do? We have to write the LHS. Okay, which are the, see, this is LHS. Note down children first. Note down LHS left hand side. Okay, this is RHS products. First you have to list out the reactants and products. Clear? Now, name the elements in the equation. Hydrogen and oxygen. Simple equation I have taken children. So what are the elements once again? Hydrogen and oxygen in the given equation. Reactants, hydrogen, oxygen. Product also hydrogen, oxygen. Now we have to count the number of atoms. What is the hydrogen atom here? How many hydrogen atoms are there in the reactant? 2. How many hydrogen atoms are there in the product? 2. What about oxygen? Oxygen also 2 in the reactant. But observe carefully. It is that in the product side, the number of oxygen is 1. Clear? Is it balanced? No. What we have to do? We have to balance the equation. How to balance? Let us see. Here, hydrogen balanced. Oxygen 2, here 1. In order to balance oxygen, what we have to do? We have to multiply this into 2. Clear? We have to multiply by 2. No, don't write here O2 because subscript should not write like this. Should not. We have to write the coefficient 2. So what about this? Now oxygen 2. Here oxygen 2. Now comes to hydrogen. 2 2s are 4 hydrogen. In the product side how much now? 4 hydrogens are there. Here 2 are there. In order to balance hydrogen, what we have to do? In the reactant side, we put 2 here. Clear children? So 2 2s are 4 now. So we have to multiply 2. Clear? Clear children? What we have to do? We have to multiply by 2 in the oxygen and 2 in the product side. Next, how many hydrogen atoms are there in the reactant? Count it. 2 2s are 4. Here. So 2 2s are 4 hydrogen. 2 2s are 4 hydrogen. So totally in the reactant side 4 hydrogen are there. In the product side also 4 hydrogen are there. What about in the oxygen? In the reactant side 2 oxygen and 2 oxygen. Now the equation is balanced children. I hope understand. One more equation I would like to give you. Observe the equation number 3. BaCl2 plus H2SO4 to form BaSO4 and HCl. BaCl2 means barium chloride. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. So BaSO4 means barium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. Here barium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid to forming barium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. This is a chemical equation. What we have to do? We have to balance the chemical equation. First step is you have to identify LHS and RHS. So which are the LHS children? Barium chloride and sulfuric acid. Which are the RHS ma? Barium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. Clear? Next step is we have to write the atoms in LHS and atoms in product side. So how many atoms of barium in the reactant side? 1. Ba 1. What about chlorine children? 2 atoms of chlorine. Next hydrogen. Hydrogen how many? 2 atoms. Sulfur 1. Oxygen 4. Clear? Next barium 1. Chlorine 1. Hydrogen 1. Sulfur 1. What about oxygen? 4. Observe this carefully. Here barium 1, chlorine and hydrogen. So what is the number of chlorine in LHS? 2. What is the number of chlorine in product? 1. Now the equation is not balanced. Here what we have to do? We have to balance only 2 elements such as chlorine and hydrogen. What we have to do? So we have to, in order to balance the reactant side, we have to multiply chlorine by 2, hydrogen by 2. Clear? So then 2 ones are 2. How many chlorine atoms are there now in the reactants? 2. How many hydrogen are there now? 2. What we have to do children? We have to put here 2. Now count it once again. Ba 1, 1. Cl here. So Cl 2 are there? Here 2. What about hydrogen? 2, 2. S1, S1. O4, O4. Now the equation is balanced. Understand? Let us consider one more example. Let us consider another example. Sodium hydroxide reacts with sulfuric acid to form sodium sulfate and water. Okay. So what we have to do first step? We have to note down LHS and RHS. So next step is we have to write the atoms in LHS and atoms in RHS. Okay. What are the elements children? See here, sodium, oxygen, hydrogen and sulfur. Clear? Here sodium, sulfur is there, but here I have taken oxygen, so I have written oxygen, no problem children. Okay, so next hydrogen and sulfur. What we have to do next step? We have to count the number of atoms on both LHS and RHS. See what about this one, sodium? How many atoms are there in LHS? 1. Shall I write 1? Here. So what about here? How many atoms are there? 2. Clear children? What about oxygen children? Here 1 plus 4. Why? Because we have to count total number of atoms in reactant. 4 plus 1, 5. Shall I write 5 here? Okay. Here what about that? 4 plus 1 oxygen, totally 5. I hope clear children. What about hydrogen children? Here 1 hydrogen and plus 2 hydrogen. Totally reactant side, how many hydrogen ma? 3. What about here children? Only 2. Next children, sulfur 1 atom. This much clear children, this step. Next step children, observe carefully. So sulfur 1, balanced. Okay, first this is balanced. Clear? What about this one here? So hydrogen has to balance and only hydrogen has to balance. Now imagine. First what we have to do children? We have to balance sodium. How many atoms are there here? 1. How many atoms are there here? 2. So what we have to do? In order to balance RHS sodium, it has to LHS sodium multiplied by 2. Clear? What we have to do? We have to multiply this Na into 2. So next what I have to write children here? I have to write 2. Clear? So sodium we have to balance now. N2Na. So next once again you come now. So 2Na, 2Na. What about oxygen children here? Observe carefully. 2 plus 4. Now before how much? 5. Now in the LHS 5. 4 plus 2, 6. What we have to do now? We have to write 6. Here oxygen will be same. What about hydrogen children? So 2 plus 2. What about hydrogen now? Before 3, Now 4. Clear? So here hydrogen 2 only. Sulfur same. Clear children? What we have to do? We have to balance now hydrogen. Clear? So how many hydrogen are there in the reactant side ma? 4. So in order to balance hydrogen, what we have to do? We have to multiply this hydrogen by 2. So shall I put here children 2? Okay. Now once again we check. 2 Na, 2 Na. What about oxygen? 2 oxygen plus 4. Totally 6 oxygen are there. Here children. So 2 oxygen plus 4 oxygen. What would be this? Here also what we have to do, right? We have to write 6 oxygen. Clear children? Next what about hydrogen children? So 2 plus 2, 4. Here 2 plus 2 plus 2, totally 4. 2 into 2, 4. Okay, so next sulfur 1. Once again you check children. So sodium, 2 sodium now. So here Na2. Clear children? What about oxygen children? So 2, here 4. Totally 6 oxygen. Here what about this? 2 plus 4, totally 6. Hydrogen here 2 2s are 4 hydrogen. Here 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogen. Sulfur 1 and sulfur 1. So now what is that? Now this equation is balanced. Clear children? Observe another equation children. Iron plus water to form iron oxide and hydrogen gas is liberated. This is your textbook example children. They are shown in 7 steps. I would like to show you in only 3 to 4 steps. Okay, easy method children. What we have to do usually in the previous thing, we have to write down the LHS, RHS and R. Very easy method I show you children. First step is we have to identify metals and balance the metals children. Balance the metals. Okay, so first what are the metals you know very well children. So 10th standard syllabus only iron, sodium, potassium, calcium, zinc, copper, aluminium. These are the metals. Okay children. Non-metals, carbon, sulfur, nitrogen, these are belongs to non-metals. After balancing the metals, we have second step is we have to move on to the non-metals. Okay children. Next one is oxygen. Okay, we have to balance the oxygen. Fourth step is hydrogen. Clear? These are the 4 steps we have to follow. See, observe carefully. Identify the metals in the given equation. What is the metal they have given? Iron. Okay. How many iron are there in the product side? 3. Then multiply by 3. Clear? Okay. Metal valence is balanced. What about next? Non-metals. Carbon is there in the equation? No. Carbon, sulfur, nitrogen. Nothing is there here. Non-metals, leave it. Move on to the next step is we have to balance the oxygen. Oxygen here in the product side. How many oxygens are there here? 4. Then multiplied by 4. Clear children? So next oxygen balancing of oxygen 4. Here also atoms of oxygen 4. Next, what about hydrogen children? How many hydrogen are there here? 4. Put 4. So total count the number of atoms in hydrogen. 4 2s are 8. Here 4 2s are 8. 8 atoms of hydrogen in the product side. 8 atoms are there in the reactant side. What about oxygen children? So 4 oxygen are there in the reactant side. 4 oxygen are there in the product side. Here iron, 3 atoms of iron and 3 atoms of iron. Now the equation is balanced. Clear children? Easy now? What are the steps? Once again I would like to say this is the new method for you. But easy method children. Once again what we have to do? So first we have to identify the metal in any equation and balance the metals children. First step. Second step is balance the non-metals. Third step is balance the oxygen and balance the hydrogen. These are the 4 steps we have to come in sequence order only. You can check it for another equation. One more equation I would like to show you. Okay. Observe another equation children. C plus O2 CO. Okay. Carbon reacts with oxygen to forming carbon monoxide. Ma'am, carbon dioxide is also the product, no? Yes, children. But carbon reacts with unburned carbon. We are getting carbon monoxide. Okay. How can we balance in this easy method? First, what is the step, children? We have to identify the metals, right? So, first what we have to do? We have to identify the metals. Any metals are there in the given equation? No. Okay. Carbon belongs to non-metals. So, second step is non-metals, carbon. Next, what we have to do? What we have to observe? We have to observe the oxygen. Next, hydrogen. Here, what are there? Only carbon, non-metal they have given, oxygen they have given. No hydrogen, no metals. Easy only. What we have to do? Here, how many oxygen are there? 2 oxygen are there. Shall I put here 2, ma? Okay. So, what about next? Oxygen balanced. What about carbon, children? Check it once again. 2 carbon, here put 2. Then the equation is balanced. Easy method. Another equation. Let us consider another equation. In this equation, both metal, non-metal, oxygen is there. Okay, I will show you last equation. Please observe carefully. Pb, lead nitrate, undergoes decomposition to forming lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas is liberated. This is decomposition reaction, children. It is also textbook example. First, what is that? We have to identify metals. Which is the metal, children? Here, lead is the metal. Clear, children? Second one is non-metal. Yavudu nitrogen. Non-metal, nitrogen. Okay, NN means you don't confuse. Non-metal. Already I have shown. Okay. So next one is, what is that one? Third step is oxygen. Oxygen. Okay. We have to write. Next one is, what we have to do? Hydrogen. Clear, children? See here, M means metals. List the metals and what is that one? We have to balance the metal valency. Here, how many valency of here lead, Pb? 2 they have given. Put 2 here. Clear? 2 Pb. Clear? What about nitrogen, children? So here, 2 NO3. This is the radical nitrate. So this NO3 group, radical group, 2 is applicable for nitrogen and we have to multiply with the subscript. 3 2s are 6 oxygen are there. Nitrogen, how many nitrogen are there here? 2 nitrogen are there. 2 nitrogen plus here 2. 2 2s are totally 4 nitrogen are there. What we have to do? We have to put 4. Clear, children? Here 2 nitrogen, here 2. This N or this number applicable for nitrate overall group, children. NO3. 2 2s are 4. How many nitrogen, ma? 4 nitrogen are there. Clear, children? Next to oxygen. How many oxygen are there here? Next to oxygen. 3 2s are 6. 6 into 2, 12. Oxygen, how many, children? 12 oxygen atoms are there. Here come now. So 2 oxygen. Write down, children. 2 oxygen plus 4 2s are 8 oxygen plus O2 2. Okay. So 2 plus 8, 10. 10 plus 2, 12. 12 atoms of oxygen. So here 12 atoms of oxygen are there in this reactant side and 12 atoms are there in this product side. Understand, children? Once again I will say now. So lead nitrate undergoes decomposition to forming lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. What is the first step, children? In this step they have given, so metal. Which is the metal they have given? Lead. What is the metal balancing here? Number. So 2. I put 2. Clear? What about nitrogen, children? Here 2 nitrogen, here 2 nitrogen. Totally 2 2s are 4 nitrogen. I put 2. Sorry, 4 for nitrogen. What about oxygen, children? So here 3 2s are 6. 6 into 2, 12 oxygen are there. Here, so 2 oxygen plus 4 2s are 8 oxygen plus 2, totally 12 oxygen are there. Now the equation is balanced, children. I hope understand, children. I would like to recall once again. So balancing of chemical equation. Why we have to balance the chemical equation? To maintain the law of conservation of mass, children. What is balancing equation? The total number of atoms must be present in the reactant must be equal to the product sides. So two steps I have shown children, two methods I have shown. One is in your textbook method. So first we have to find out first we have to note down the LHS and RHS. Next to the atoms which are present in the LHS we have to note down. The atoms which are present in the product side we have to note down. Later on, according to the steps I have shown. Second methodology, identify the metals, identify the non-metals, oxygen valency and hydrogen valency. Will you try another few questions at home, children? Okay, I'll assign the work for you. Please note down in your textbook few questions. Page number 15. Balance the following chemical equation. Question number 6. Will you balance, children? Okay, thank you.